Lagos State has to offer in terms of culture, arts, and food.
You yesterday we're begging this girl to go and open her box for this cultural attire. She was like, no, it's stress. I don't want to open my box. Now, see how you're looking. You're enjoying it, Abby. You have to pay the development fee. You have to pay to
And how are you, my darling?
I'm
you
doing
look good.
well. I'm doing well. So we started sales in my shop.
Nice.
Affordable outfits. We need money. Please help our business. I don't know what's happening to the economy. I don't know, but we have refused that the economy will economy us. So sales are ongoing. We're slashing prices of the product. Everything is affordable. Just see what you can get.
I'll be there next week.
You know where I want slash?
My friend, go and sit
I'll be
down.
there next week. I know where you want slash, and I think I want that slash. I'll be
Don't give me for my mother, please. Don't give me for my mother. That's it. And also, my body hurts. I'm working out, doing a lot of things. We have to keep this, fit. We have to keep fit. I saw a video of someone who just celebrated 50th, and she was looking amazing. And I'm like, hey, see where we are going to. So we have to do the work now. But hopefully by next week, my body will adjust to the new changes. All right, let's take a short break. When we come back, we do the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: federal government cushioning effect of reforms, says ministers. 20 million Nigerians get cash support. Petrol subsidy removal has opened sector to investment. Tinubu Edo will get full support. Under 18 pupils won't sit for WASC, minister insists. Prisons controller suspended as probe of Bobrisky's claim begins. Senate passes Southwest Development Commission bill. Jonathan refutes Emir Sanusi's claim on missing $49.8 billion US. Ex-Governor Yahaya Bello not afraid of facing trial, says media office. What stories do we have in The Nation? Who's going?
Okay, let me go then. At the very bottom strip, I have the former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello says he's not afraid of facing justice on the alleged 80.2 billion naira money laundering charge. This is by his media office. They say the ex-governor will pursue the lane of constitutionality to its logical end instead of falling for baits and traps of the EFCC. He's also asked the president to order a thorough investigation into the face-off between the EFCC and Yahaya Bello. And he goes on to say that if EFCC does not have any hidden plans against Bello, it ought to have taken him into custody when he voluntarily went to the commission's headquarters September 18th. You know, that also, for me, too, I thought about that as well. And then the EFCC had put out a statement, and in response to that statement, they said that that statement should be regarded as an embarrassment to the anti-graft agency itself. It's filled with all forms of vulgar invectives that clearly show malicious intentions against the former governor, rather than the EFCC's pretentious fight against corruption. There's so many allegations, you know, here going back and forth, but in summary, it's just saying that Yahaya Bello is willing, you know, to face justice, but thorough investigations need to be done. He's willing for those investigations to be carried out.
Okay.
Let's see.
So I have a story here. The federal government has defended its ban on pupils under 18 years old sitting for the Senior School Certificate Examinations, SSCE, accusing parents of whoring their children, their words. The Education Minister, Tahir Maman, said this yesterday in Abuja at a briefing by government officials on the preparation for next week's celebration of the nation's independence anniversary, which happens October 1st. So in July, we know that he had announced that starting from 2025, candidates below 18 will not be allowed to sit for the SSCE. Although he said that the development was in line with the country's laws, the move had created, a lot of ripples across the country. A lot of people are, talking about it. There's a lot of backlash. But at the interministerial press briefing in Abuja, he defended the policy, saying it will pay the country in the long run. I would have loved to understand how that will be. He says our laws, the Universal Basic Education Act and the Minimum Standard Policy Act established in 1993 prescribed specific age limits and provisions for every entry level of education, 6 years in primary school, 3 years in junior secondary school, 3 years in senior secondary school, and then 5 to 6 years before primary school. So you have to be 5 to 6 years before primary school. A child is expected to enter school at the age of 6. But it says what is happening now is that our parents have been in a hurry. They frog jump their children, get them into school at the age of 4, skip level 6 at primary school, and also skip level 6 at secondary school. So the children finish quite too young. Now, what we've done is that with the type of curriculum that we've introduced, we need them to be in place as prescribed by the Act. So he said the ministry was only implementing already existing laws. It's not like it introduced a new law. This has been on for so far, and they went ahead to give other details of the Act. But the thing is, parents started jumping their children for specific reasons. We've discussed that extensively on the show. You graduate from school, the labor market has an age that keeps you, and with all the strike that happens in the university, some people do not meet up to the cutoff, and then they don't have jobs anymore. And so parents had to, okay, what's the best way we can help our children? So the root cause is still the root cause. We are not addressing it. It's not about keeping them till 18 before they write the examination, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the one with the marketers and the Dangote, because they have just been going back and forth. They said due to the pricing mechanism in the oil sector, independent oil marketers may not be able to buy petrol for sale from the Dangote refinery. They said there has been a pricing disagreement following which independent marketers have been itching to be given the opportunity for direct purchase from the refinery. They want to be able to go to the refinery and buy the product by themselves instead of going through NNPC, because they said NNPC has been the sole off-taker of petrol in the refinery since it rolled out product in September 15th. And they are now saying that they said an expert in the industry, Festus Osifo, said, with the current situation of things, even if independent markets are allowed to buy the product from the refinery, the pump price will be higher than it is presently.
Wow.
So they are just going up and down. The independent marketers want to buy directly, and then NNPC again. And I'm just wondering, NNPC, shouldn't you go and try and start up your own refinery? And they now said that that the refinery is trying to subsidize the amount. And I'm like, on the private business, yeah, you want to do subsidy there. Start up your refineries, let your refineries work, so that the independent marketers can
have a free hand to do their own business. Then the forces of market, this thing will handle it.
Yes, so this Bobrisky story and allegation is getting more interesting by the day. Yes, so the federal government yesterday suspended 2 senior officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service over alleged infractions regarding the incarceration of celebrity cross-dresser Mr. Idris Okune, a.k.a. Bobrisky. So, if you recall, recently an audio recording was released whereby Bobrisky was having a conversation with a friend, right? And then in the audio, it was heard saying that EFCC took a bribe of 50 million naira from him to drop the charges, money laundering charges against him. So he was only charged for abuse of the naira, spraying of money. EFCC chairman Oluwatoyin and Minister of Interior Tunji Ojo have had ordered investigations. And then as yesterday, some people were suspended immediately. The 2 officers, senior officers that were involved directly with Bobrisky's case have been suspended. Also, 2 other officers were also suspended for misdemeanors in different facilities. Mr. Michael Onugwa, Deputy Controller of Corrections, DCC, in charge of medium security custodian in Kirikiri, Lagos, was suspended. Mr. Dekunle Siriku, Deputy Controller of Corrections, still suspended. Also, somebody in the Ebonyi State, one of the officers, the DCC, and also another person in Afibo, in Ebonyi State, were suspended. So the House of Representatives are saying that this must be investigated to the full extent, and that anybody that is found, because it's sad that EFCC is supposed to be the ones charging and holding people responsible, right, for corruption, and it's sad if they are found wanting. So they need to make sure that this is done, the bad eggs are removed from the system, and let's see how that goes. But that every investigation will be made public. Everything, all the findings from the investigation will be made. Yes, with transparency. Okay. I hope so.
So now the Punch, major headline: federal government begins payments of salaries. Salaries rise to 4 trillion. Okay, 1,236,824 workers, federal workers, to earn 334.9 billion naira monthly. NLC, TUC, loud federal government. Why my admin suspended Sanusi? This is according to Jonathan. Oil companies owe government over $6 billion by NATI. Federal government probing bandit sponsors. That's Defense Headquarters. 21 children killed in Kenyan school fire buried. Bobrisky reps commence probe. Prison suspenders or controllers suspended. Kwara hails death sentence for 5 of our bank robbers. Afenifere demands restructuring as Senate OK Southwest Development Commission. Let me quickly take the picture story here before we go on a short break. So a mass funeral had been held for the 21 children who were killed in a boarding school fire in central Kenya earlier this month, according to Al Jazeera reports. Each small coffin was topped with a photograph of most of the boys killed, aged between 9 and 13. Now, grieving relatives and former classmates had to come to bid them farewell on Thursday. Said dozens of children carrying flower wreaths led funeral procession for the boys from Hillside and the Rasha Academy in Yeri Town, who were aged between 9 and 13. So according to Reuters report, said they were trapped in a dormitory as the blaze, spread through the building September 6th. And Kenya so far has had sad stories of, fire outbreaks. They said they've been more than 60 cases of arson in public secondary schools in 2018. And, this according to the data that they have. So there were thousands of mourners there. Everybody's just, crying. It was, yes.
Day.
May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the newspaper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome back. We're still reviewing the Punch.
Okay, so I have the major headline. 7 months after it began negotiations that ended with 70,000 naira, as the new minimum wage. Yeah, the federal government on Thursday has commenced payments of the 70,000 naira salaries. A warrant for this month's salary signed by the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Oluwatoyin, and addressed to the Budget Office of the Federation, directed the commencement of this year's payments. It's also said that it's also said that there has been no confirmation on arrears of payments. So they'll just start from this month to make the payments. They're still debating on if it's going to take effect, for the 2 months arrears. Because it was signed sometime in July, and the reason why was because that was when the president signed the wage into law. Also, in a breakdown that was attached to the memo, it was noted that over 334 trillion naira will be used to bear the cost of over 1.2 million workers per month. And this is to say that the government is expected to spend 4.019 trillion annually as this new wage bill. Wow. Despite commending the federal government for commencing the payment, the President Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Dele Oye, expressed concern over the threat of imprisonment for defaulters. He urged the government to engage with stakeholders, including the labor unions, to know what to do, because most of the salary earners are MSMEs, right? And it's trying to say that most companies now will try to reduce their workers, in order to cut costs. We all know what's going on in Nigeria with the economic situation. So they're begging the government to also get involved, because people are going to be out of jobs. There's hunger in the land. What will happen? And then how are they going to make sure that there's accountability, that people are actually paying, in the private sectors are actually paying this money?
Okay, any other story?
Yes, I do. I have the final conviction of the Offa robbers and sentencing of them. So the Kwara State government on Thursday has commended the judgment that convicted 5 suspects involved in the Offa bank robbery to death, and they've described this as triumph of good over evil. It's been 6 years, since the court case has taken 6 years, but they finally gotten a sentencing of hanging by death, and I too believe that it is, a triumph of good over evil. So the story goes that they were convicted for. Those that were convicted are Ayoade Akinibosun, Aziz Salahuddin, Ni Ogundiran, Ibikunle Ogunlaya, and Adeola Abraham. The 6th suspect, Michael Adiku, a retired police officer that was arrested with the suspect, had died while in custody before the trial even began. So just a little summary of how the court case went. First of all, they were tried on 5 counts of conspiracy, culpable homicide, illegal possession of firearms, and armed robbery, and they all pleaded not guilty. Of course, as the court case progressed, they brought their alibis, but there were video evidences. There's just so much evidence that, the court said it watered down whatever alibi or whatever it is that they brought in their defense, and it was obvious that they had committed this offense. And they said during the time when they had gone on rampage, attacking banks and robbing banks, no fewer than 32 people comprising of 9 police officers, including 2 women, were killed, during this period. So these are people that deserve the sentence that they have gotten. Although, personally, I feel that sometimes the wheel of justice really does grind slowly. But thank God, we have seen a positive end to these killers.
Yeah. Okay, so I have the story of the federal government probing bandits of Aswanso. So they said the defense headquarters said investigations are actively underway into allegations of banditry sponsorship in the Northwest region. They said development comes on the heels of accusations and counter-accusations between the Minister of State for Defense and immediate past governor of Zamfara, Bello Matawali, and his successor, Daud Alawal, over banditry sponsorship. That governor and the minister, they have been going back and forth on social media saying that, that one said that the Minister of Defense sponsored bandits, is a sponsor of bandits. And he came out and he said, he swore, hearings in the Quran, he used the Quran to swear that that he's not part of it, that he's not part of it, he never sponsored anything like that. So they said, okay, the APC group said, we want a thorough investigation to clear Matawale's name and uphold our party's integrity. It's an association with individuals responsible for heinous crimes undermines our party's values and the president's anti-corruption agenda. So let's see how that
goes.
Yeah.
All right, Vanguard, major headline, alleged missing $49.8 billion US, why Sanusi had to go as CBN governor, according to Jonathan. Edo poll, I'll be servant of all, ready to work with opposition, Bebolo, as he receives certificate of return. This day publisher to military, stop arresting protesters, go after kidnappers. Gargain media will stagnate democracy, Governor Oyebanji. Nigeria at 64, SGF ministers defend Tinubu's policies amid cabinet reshuffle hint. Why some Heritage Bank depositors are yet to be refunded, NDIC boss. Flood, how 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months. Bobrisky, federal government suspends prison officers. Christian elders to federal government, reverse fuel hike to avert looming crisis. And sports here, Egovain continues as Super Eagles head coach against Libya. Any stories in the Vanguard?
Yeah, so I have how the 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months. The says flood started wreaking havoc in northern states in August. No fewer than 141 lives have been lost in Kano, Niger, Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. They say Kano state topped the chart with 49 deaths, followed by Yobe, 43, Borno, 26, Adamawa, 12, and Niger, 11. So they said in Niger, they say 11 persons were swept away, and 539 communities, 246 schools, 118,692 hectares of land, farmlands, were all washed away. Yeah, so they listed some of the local government, which Mokwa, Kacha, Lavun, Shiroro, Munya, Bako. There are so many of them, etc. So they said with the recent development that the state may start, this country may be facing a food crisis as a result of the hectares of farmlands washed away by the flood. But they are saying that the state government has taken more decisive steps to guide against further occurrence. So let's see how they are going to make sure that all these
with
things...
all this data, year in, year out, the governors of states would have made provision, would have, especially for those areas, built makeshift houses that enable them to stay above the floods and above the water. This is 2024. We should be going
do better
than we
Yeah.
have.
So I have the story. So we have our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, was at the launch of the book, Public Policy and Agents' Interests, Perspectives from the Emerging World. And he, got up to speak at the podium, and he referred to some of the things in a book that was co-authored by the Emir and former Minister of Finance, Shamsuddin Usman. And he said that he didn't agree with the present Emir, who was former CBN governor, that he was sacked by Jonathan because he blew the whistle on the $49.8 billion funds that were stolen from government coffers. He said that, the former president said that, let me quote him, "Let me mention that I do not agree completely with some issues raised by one of the contributors, but I don't intend to join issues because he's our royal father." That's talking about the Emir. The one he raised, that he was sacked because he blew a whistle that the federal government lost $49.8 billion, is not quite correct. He was not sacked. He was suspended because the Financial Reporting Council, FRC, queried the expenditure of CBN. There were serious infractions that needed to be looked at. That was the reason, but somehow the time was short, so before we finished, his tenure also elapsed, and if it hadn't elapsed, probably he would be called back. But we also had, the Emir was there, and the Emir, got on the podium when it was his turn, and he says that, "My boss, you sacked me. I was sacked for this particular reason, but I hold no grudges." And he even called it, he said he was constructively sacked, and that, he said, "I continue to respect Jonathan, and I don't have grudges against anyone." And, it continued. And then he also talked about the Dangote refinery, and he was not happy with just the way, we've been going, government has been going about it. He says that this is the time to maximize the benefits of, ending fuel importation and things like that. But, very interesting that they both had a chance, at a forum to be able to speak to each other about it. Imagine you hear a story, everybody has their version of the truth. Jonathan has always felt maybe he didn't sack him.
Yes.
I just suspended for something different, but he believes he was sacked because,
Conversations are very important.
Yes, so at the media briefing, in Abuja to mark the 64th independence of Nigeria. Key ministers in the administration yesterday rose in defense of policies of government, arguing stridently that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meant well for the country, despite the hardship such policies were inflicting on Nigerians. Some of the things that they said were that on his part, Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, also defended Nigeria's decision to float its currency, pointing out that the action was meant to shore up the economy and attract more foreign exchange, and that since this was done, that they've seen some visible evidence that the floating of Naira is bringing in positive economic change. Okay. I don't know where he's seeing that, or if who else is seeing that. Finance Minister and Coordinated Minister of Economy, Chief Wale Ejun, also explained that the country, they're making efforts to import food in order to help the situation. But this is not long-term because they don't want anything to affect, the local food productions, so fast. But that they've already imported the food. They're waiting for it to get to Nigeria. The Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, now disclosed that they inherited fewer than 2,600 road projects worth 13 trillion naira, and the government is not going to give any new road projects contracts till they've finished the 2,600 contracts that they inherited, which is a good one. And then he also said that they want to use the concrete technology to replace asphalt for road construction, because that will be the road for a lifetime, because that's what other developed countries use. So let's stop this every day, come and repair road, contract. When you do the road, it's done properly.
All right, final paper for today. I don't know if we have time. Nigerian Tribune. Major headline, what Southwest Development Commission will achieve, according to senators, as Senate passes bill, awaits reps concurrence. Oil and gas industry owes federal government $6 billion to $66 billion US dollars. That's the NATI report. Bobrisky, federal government suspends senior prison officials. We've taken that. Federal government to toll Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Second Niger Bridge, and others. Do INEC present certificates of return to Okpebolo? I think we've taken basically most of the stories. Do we have any story we haven't taken here?
Yeah, but do we have enough time? The federal government, Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, has said the federal government will toll all major roads in the country upon completion of and renovation. He says we have the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we're completing it and we're tolling it. He mentioned a few others. He says Second Niger Bridge, Abuja-Kano Road, Makadi 9th Mile, amongst others. He says that because, the private sector members have been engaged in bringing funds, constructing these roads, work with the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission and the Ministry of Works to toll these roads. So he says that we have never really looked at road construction as an investment, but that's what they are going to be doing, going forward. So these roads will be tolled. They will earn revenue to maintain the road. So there'll be security, there'll be electricity via solar, 24/7. So people will enjoy the road and to be maintained for a very long period of time.
That's a good one. If they give us what's paying for.
Let's hope so.
We'll enjoy it. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Conversation just got Gen Z'd.
Argentina, champions of the world!
Welcome back to our sponsored segment. So World Heart Day is notably celebrated every September 29th, and this year's theme is Use Heart for Action. In commemoration of this year's celebration, your leading edible oil brand, Power Oil, has brought in a dietitian to enlighten us about our heart health. Joining us on the show is a dietitian who specializes in adult care and pediatrics with years of experience in the field. Welcome with us, Mrs. Awele Johnson.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good
We're here to talk
morning.
about heart health, heart health, heart
Yes,
health.
good morning.
First of all, my chest has been paining me. I feel some pain and then it subsides, and after a while I feel that pain again. So, first of all, tell us, what is heart health and what's the significance of this celebration?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, you know, the heart is the central part of our overall health. So we have to take care of our heart because the functions of the heart cannot be underestimated. Like basically, the heart pumps blood, it takes nutrients around the body, and it also takes oxygenated blood around the body. So basically, we need to take care of our heart. And the function and the significance of this celebration is to create awareness of our heart health. Right? We have to tell people, we have to make them understand the risk factors and teach them how to make healthy food choices and take steps to ensure that they prevent all forms of heart diseases. So basically, that's the reason why a day like this is set aside for Heart Day celebration. Yeah, so basically, there are several ways in which we can take care of our hearts. First of all, we need to work on our diet and we need to work on our lifestyle. Yes. So we need to work on our diet and we need to work on our lifestyle. Okay.
So how would, I guess that's the diet, and
yes,
how does food impact our health? And
okay.
our
Basically, they always say, there's a saying that says, you are what you eat. So whatever you eat makes up what goes on in your body, the nutrients and everything you accumulate in your body, it comes from what you eat, right? So basically, we need to eat healthy. And how do we eat healthy? What are the foods we need to eat? We need to incorporate whole grains in our diet. We need to incorporate fruits and vegetables in our diet. We need to incorporate a whole lot of water. Because something is happening now in the recent days. We've adopted the Western diet and we've let go of the Mediterranean diet, which we are usually used to. All right, so a lot of people taking a lot of highly processed foods, and then they've let go of our fruits, our vegetables, and our locally available foods. So we need to cut down on highly processed foods like pastries, sugary drinks, carbonated drinks, alcohol. Before now, there used to be a safe limit for alcohol, but the recent WHO standard says there is no safe limit for alcohol because it's a carcinogen. It's known to be a carcinogen, right? Sometimes people say things like, oh, alcohol is good for the heart. Yeah, but
Red wine, they told us.
yes, people specifically say red wine is good for the heart, but the adverse effect outweighs the benefits.
I
Yes.
haven't had an alcoholic beverage in 3 months. I took
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah.
Because for me, it wasn't just about, you know, the alcohol itself. All the stories of fake alcohol everywhere. I just got
Yes, yes. And you know, like this red wine you mentioned now, you can take red grapes in place of the red wine, and it just does the same thing without causing you any adverse.
Does not give you
effect.
that. It will not help you in the
I
other.
don't my drink, so you don't need that, baby.
You don't need the wee.
You don't need the way.
From time to time. Okay, another question.
Okay, yes, so we have to also prioritize our cooking oils, right? So we need to avoid unbranded oils.
Okay.
We have to avoid unbranded oils, like. And then another thing I will encourage is to always read food labels. Read nutrition labels. Sometimes people just buy something and the next thing they want to check, oh, let me check the expiry date. But that's not the most important. You have to check what you're taking into your body. You have to check things like the trans fats, the amount of saturated fat in it, the amount of sodium in it, the amount of sugar in it. Because sugar predisposes us to heart issues. A whole lot of sugar predisposes us. Yes, a lot of people, maybe because they are not diabetic, they feel like, oh, I can take any amount of sugar I need. No, it can predispose you to overweight and obesity. And that will eventually predispose you to a heart problem. Then you also have to cut down on sodium. Sodium is a very high risk factor for hypertension. So you have to cut down on sodium intake. Salt, yes.
Okay.
There are so many, wait. There are so many things out there, right? I saw a recent report that we actually need a healthy amount of sodium. We shouldn't run away from sodium.
Of course,
If anything
yes.
happens to you, get to the hospital. That's saline they give to you, has sodium. So which one do we now give?
Yes, there is an upper limit. Okay, so moderation is key. So basically, for sodium, you shouldn't take more than 2,300 milligram, which amounts to like a teaspoon of salt.
A day?
A day, yes. So for somebody who already has hypertension, should go lesser, to like 1,500 milligram, which is like half teaspoon of salt a day. So we have to cut down on that. Then another major thing.
More questions.
Yeah, let's get more questions. So, you know, there's something that's been happening this year, ending of last year, and a lot this year, where you see athletes, you see people that work out, dropping dead. Lots of men, even though they work out, they are playing basketball. I know someone that the husband was playing basketball. He's a medical doctor, and he just slumped, heart disease and stuff. So I'm wondering, what type of exercises are important for a healthy heart? And if you're also exercising, why are people dropping like flies? What's going on?
Okay, basically, so for physical activity, I was coming to that, is like very important to maintain a healthy heart because it strengthens your heart muscles, right? So, but we need, like I said, moderation. And then while exercising, you need to listen to your body. You need to listen to your body, how you feel at that point. So you don't need to go so intense. Do you understand? Moderate to high intensity exercise is allowed. But then you don't just wake up one morning, it's your first time and you go high intensity. You just start small, right? You start small, you build up. You start small. You start small and you build up. So why?
Question.
Okay, yeah. So so since you're saying moderation and also, are you trying to say that I want to ask if how do we ensure that what we eat is safe for our health and our heart? In the sense that, okay, so your oil now, how much do we keep eating fried foods, or how the quantity that we can
once we get a good oil, can we just fry
the quantity that we can take in our body? How do we ensure that
so
it's safe?
Okay, talking about the oil, let me start with the oil. So when you get a good oil, you can fry. But then there's something people usually do. Some people in their homes, they keep one particular oil for frying. Okay. They will fry with the oil for 1 month. They'll fry plantain, they'll fry akara, they'll fry everything for 1 month with that same oil. So I'm very sure that's not the way the producers intended for oil to be used, right? So you have to, like, after frying like twice, you should discard, or you fry once and use it to cook a meal instead of keeping it and using it. And you keep using it.
What manufacturer is saying is different from what the end user You have to look at your pockets. We can't keep using fresh oil to fry all the time, but I get what you're saying.
But you have to prioritize your health because medicine is more expensive than a good diet.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to, prioritize your health and try to do things that will not put your health at risk.
So any other ways that you're marking the celebration? Are you people organizing an event or anything you have for this?
Yeah, basically, we are going to create awareness in our hospitals, let people know. We can do checks, checks like high blood pressure checks and all of that.
Okay. Any final words for our
And then,
viewers?
okay, please, everyone should prioritize their diet because they said diet is the best medicine. So basically, if we work on our diet, the doctors will have less work to do. We'll see less patients in the hospital, and everyone will be happy and healthy. So we have one heart. Please take care of it.
Oh, thank you. We have one heart. Please take care of it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Mrs. Awele Johnson on Heart Health, World Heart Day today. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move on to our topic for the day. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Hey, Nick fam! Remember, Nick on TVC is your one-stop for engaging children's shows like El Tigre, Paw Patrol, SpongeBob SquarePants, Kung Fu Panda, and lots more to keep the kids glued to their screens. Catch us on Mondays to Fridays at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on TVC.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you through your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into our
What you need was in the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max.
Late nights on Max FM is where we help you connect the dots and put you in that place where you are ready to do it right.
We are dishing out the top hits of the week, counting down the biggest songs on your radio.
Let's go. Right now.
On Max Sports, we bring to you sporting events happening all around the world.
It's not just sports, it's entertainment.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Sheen. Let's go!
We are your go-to for hit music, entertainment, and top-notch radio all day, every day. 102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of the neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model university, to move our GDP from 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Are you missing something?
Emi tell her say make she come carry her clothes with this house.
What?
You are under arrest. Excuse me. I am a lawyer by profession.
She knows exactly what she's looking for. And if she lays her hand on it, hey, we are going to jail.
This is my house. It's a 3-bedroom apartment.
How dare you take my daughter away without my consent?
I'm not caused all these problems. But she lies there ill.
Do I look like someone you can joke with?
Please, when you're done shouting, remember to lock the door behind you.
I will soon deal with you with this better. You will know. Yes, I will.
BC. Thanks for staying with us. Just before our gist, we have a guest in the house who is the head medical services Octosoft technologist, Dr. Kelechi Ibukwe, and he's here today to talk about Octodoc. Octodoc.
Good morning, BC.
Yes, you guys were here last week
Yes,
talking about Octodoc.
we're here.
So what do you have for us today? What do you want us to know?
Okay, so basically, when something gets repeatedly mentioned and presented to the people's face, it gets to stick properly, So today, I'm just gonna do probably a summary of every other thing everyone has said, and maybe to put it in a better perspective, right? So I like starting from an experience I had. My phone broke, and I had to fix it with a particular maintenance company, and I only had to go to the headquarters. So I was warned that the queue is crazy. So someone gave me an advice. Why don't you just book online? And so I just made an online booking, and they gave me a time. I went there 30 minutes before my time. And surprisingly, we were over 50 people seated waiting. So I got in, went, submitted my phone. I mean, it was almost my time. Submitted my phone, and I left. And you needed to see the way people looked at me as though I committed one crime. Right, but then again, I didn't feel guilty because that is an information I knew they didn't know. All right, so technology made it easier
for
me.
you.
Exactly. Now that's one of the things Octodoc brings to the table. We have crazy queues when you get to certain hospitals, and Octodoc makes it easy for you to book for a time to see a doctor ahead of your schedule. And once you get, for instance, you book 12 o'clock. And you get to the hospital, say 12:45 or 12:50, right? Once it's 12 o'clock, you go see the doctor. And you don't have to wait from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. before you get to being on the queue. So Octodoc makes it easier for you. It gives you that flexibility. All right, that's one aspect. The second aspect is the fact that you can get to see a doctor, like if you're in the studio, for instance, Amaka, maybe you have a headache and you have something to do probably in the next 20 minutes and you can't get to rush to the hospital immediately. You just get onto the app, open it up, get to see a doctor immediately. The doctor probably recommends something, and if there's someone who can deliver it or go buy it, they buy it immediately and you take it, and just like nothing ever happened. Just like nothing ever happened. So that's the second part. And the third part is we have various HMO plans on the app, right? Various HMO plans on the app. So if you want to buy a plan for probably this HMO, you can go on the app, see, compare prices. Okay, this one is good for me, this one is good for my family, and you make your purchase from the Octodoc app. And the fourth thing is the health education, right? We have various post-health information, health advice, and all that. So all these things,
there's also the consultation.
You said?
Like the consultation itself via video, right?
Yeah. So the consultation has 3 models. It has the video, chats, and the phone. That's the audio consultation. So if you don't want anyone to see your face, you can just go for the audio. If you don't want anyone to hear your voice, you can just go for the chat.
What are you hiding?
Some people just, I don't know, they just
that private.
And most people prefer the chats. From our experience so far, the chats are coming in like
I would prefer chat.
A whole lot. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I don't think I prefer chat because I want to see the doctor's expression in case there's something he feels uncomfortable saying.
And the thing is, I feel people need to connect.
Yeah.
Right, yes. Because it's something virtual. So you would want to have that in hospital visit experience where the doctor looks you in the eye, you see some form of empathy from the doctor when you're talking and all that. I think it helps build more trust.
So is this for just the private sector healthcare, or is it for public sector? Because when you go to general hospitals, people have to go for days and days and spend hours, go very early to be able to see a doctor, see a specialist and stuff like that. So is this just for private hospitals or?
Okay, so it's for now it's working with the private. Like we are still trying to reach out to more private connect, and also we are reaching out to the government as well to get them on board. Right. Okay. So once they come on board, we'll be able to, have the government hospitals and every other thing come on that.
Because I think it's more needed in the government
Yes,
hospitals,
yes,
because
it is,
private
it
hospitals
is.
don't really wait that much anyway,
Yeah,
because
but
they're already
some-
paying
some
premium.
Depending on
depending on the private hospitals.
Okay.
Some private hospitals, their
Like
wait
those
time,
specialist hospitals you
their
have.
wait time are really dangerous.
Okay, so on the app, can you request to see a particular doctor?
Yes,
Okay.
you can request to see me.
Okay. Oh.
You can request to see me on the app. You can request to see any other doctor on the app. Yes. That's how it's designed to be. And the interesting thing about it, I tell people, is the fact that, Nigerians are concerned about the Japa syndrome and the fact that we are, quote unquote, losing our good hands, right, for greener pastures, right? The telemedicine and the Octodoc app acts as a bridge. So it gives you access to reach out to our Nigerian doctors who are licensed to practice but went abroad, right? They can also sign up on the app, right, and then get to see our patients in Nigeria. So bridging that, that crazy number, we have one is to over 9,000, one doctor to 9,000 patients, right? As against 1 is to 600 patients recommended by WHO. So it helps kind of close up that gap.
Amazing.
So being a doctor on the app, and what would you say, are the benefits for a doctor like you? Because there may be other doctors who, are listening to you and, maybe they would like to know what the benefits are.
Okay.
And in terms of the reach, where your patients are, like, are they within the country, across, or outside the country? How many patients do you get to see, and what is the demography, the spread of your patients?
So that's an amazing question. All right, so first of all, for doctors, we call them partner doctors, who want to come on board. It's an avenue for alternative source of income, right, for them, because we pay them per patient they see. So if a doctor is going to come on board to give us a 6-hour schedule, probably within that 6 hours he sees 50 patients, we pay him a certain amount for those 50 patients he has seen, right? And then for reach, I mean, we see patients outside Nigeria as well. Patients who are in Dubai, in the UK, Canada, they get to call in on the app, and we see them and profile our services. I mean, it's an amazing, for me. It's exciting. It's an exciting route, because it's kind of taking down the borders. With that are holding medicine. So medicine without borders. That's what I said.
Technology is great.
Yeah.
Really great. Yeah,
It is.
We asked the question last week, which I also like you to, expatiate on, how you plan to reach the very poor people in the society who actually need some of the services. So you know that you have to get an app where you can download and then reach, but there are some majority of the people I'm talking about do not have access to phones. How are you able to capture them? What's the plan to capture them? Because they really need the services. To have consultation for 1,000 naira to see a doctor, it's be a huge deal for people in this category.
All right, thank you very much, BC. So there is an insurance act currently, right? Yeah. So which kind of compels every Nigerian to. So we are currently trying to see how we can partner with NHIA, right, to be able to reach out to those people, those particular people, majorly them in the rural areas and all that. And secondly, another way we are looking at doing that or getting that achieved is to have something like should I use the word health kiosk? Where you have a model in a particular community, in various stations, like you have your POS stands. So it's there registered by the government and all that, and there's an attendant there, with the equipments in there, the gadgets in there, and then when a patient comes in, the vitals are checked and all that, and the person logs into book to see the doctor wherever the doctor is, whichever one is available, and then. Yeah, that's another way, we are looking at getting that captured.
So, before we let you go, sir, what else would you like us to know?
Okay, so
about
before I go to any other, I think I've covered every other thing, but you need to download the Octodoc on the App Store or the Play Store. You know, Octodoc, OCTODOC, Octodoc. So you download it from these two.
Oct for October.
Yes, Oct for October, then Doc for Doctor. Exactly. So when you download it from either the Play Store or the iOS, then you sign up. And when you sign up, an interesting thing we came with is, you know, the promo, the code, your view together, your view. Once you type in your view, you have 3,000 naira, and that 3,000 naira can give you access to see a doctor 3 times.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Can
give you,
for
free. So that's what we have, you know, on ground. So anybody who is, you know, looking at, oh, okay, I'm having this challenge assessing the doctor, so you can go and take advantage of this opportunity. And for you to reach our customer care, you can dial 020-188-90800. 020-188-90800. All right. And lastly, let's not forget with what is happening currently in the country, the fuel, cost of transportation and all that. Telemedicine breaches that gap as well. So you are not going to spend 2K going to a hospital. You can do that from your home. All right. The cost of, it saves you that transport fare, it saves you cost of time and all that. Yep.
So does this cut across different departments like pediatrics, gynae, neurologists? Does it cut across?
Yes, we have specialists on board.
Okay.
Okay, so sir, what's your own specialty?
I'm a general practitioner.
I thought we were going. You people are bringing. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
We'll
very
be talking to the head medical services Octosoft Technologies, Dr. Kelechi Ibukwe. Thank you for being a part of the show. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we likely do our gist today. Stay with us.
All right.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Lórí ibu ni àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ajé kárí nǹkan gidi fọlọ́yọ̀ o. Àwọn ìlàrí Ọ̀yọ́ dẹ̀ sọ́ra wọn di kòkò gbà. Bó ṣe ń jẹ ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ́gun rẹ̀ mọ́.
It's the Onga Taste the Millions promo with 250 million naira worth of cash and prizes to be won to win. Buy any of the new promotional packs. Take one empty sachet of the Onga 90Q pack or 2 empty sachets of the Onga 50Q pack to the collection center and exchange the sachets for a scratch card. Scratch the card to reveal a unique code. Text the code to 1393. Promo runs from September to October 2024. Visit www.ongamillionspromo.com.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. In recent times, given the excess rate of divorce among couples, most especially celebrities, prenuptial agreements have continued to become a phrase that pops up momentarily, outlining and providing more clarity to the financial and proprietary rights of married couples in the case of a divorce between both parties. Similarly, in Nigeria, prenups have gained more prominence and acceptance among the general public, even though there's no evidence of any Nigerian reported case law, but any pre or post-nuptial agreement. So we'd like to know your thoughts on prenuptial agreements, especially in this part of the world. You can join the conversation and call us on 08107641679 or 09024163440. Tweet us at TVC Connect using the hashtag Your View on TVC. Prenuptial agreement. So I don't know how many of you saw that video of a man who posted that they had to, he's a wealthy man, businessman, wealthy, he's made money. The wife is also, you know, good. Yeah, she's working, she has her own money. And so the wife suggested that they sign a prenup. And because they want to be able to focus on real love and nobody's thinking of, you know, who's taking what and what. So they had to split. They knew what you're coming into the marriage with, your own cars, your own debts, if you carry bese into the marriage. They had to discuss all of that. And Nigerians and other people were like, this is not a marriage. How dare you do this kind of thing? No, this is not true love. This is not this. Some people, you know, supported it, say, that's fantastic. At least the man will not be scared that the lady was coming into the marriage because she wanted to eat his money or, you know, stuff like that. But when I saw it, I had mixed feelings. Because me, I don't know why I'm going to be dividing what in and what you have and all of that. If you love me, you love me. If I love you, I love you. If we don't, let's pack it up. But let me hear the thoughts of the ladies. I know Miriam likes this kind of prenuptial thing. You sign one.
I think it's not for, I don't think prenup is for everybody. I think it's for a particular set of people with some unique characteristics. So I think people who are really wealthy, especially people who are coming from family wealth. So this wealth is not basically yours. You have not grown that wealth yourself. It's coming with a lot of, there's fathers, there's grandfather, you know, and because we understand the risks sometimes with relationships where you're not sure who it is that it's really coming close. Are they coming close from me or because they know that this is a way to get into the family wealth and sabotage it and things like that? So I feel like for those unique sets of people, it is something that they could use. And when you come into relationships with those people, you're aware ahead, you know, that this is a requirement to be with that person. So this has nothing to do with just the man. It can be for a woman as well. There are conversations sometimes you hear of a father who is not certain of a particular man that his daughter is interested in, and thinks that this is a way of this person coming to just take advantage. If the father knew ahead of time that this man says, you know, I'm not interested in your money, I'm just interested in your daughter. In fact, I'm willing to sign whatever prenup there is, or the daughter herself, I feel that it takes away some of these questions. That's for people like that. But if you and I, we drank Gary together from the moment that we met, you put your, you bring one chair today, tomorrow I bring one table. I don't know what prenup we're signing, you know, that one. So that's why I feel that it's for different people. And it's important that it's a conversation you have before marriage, or so that you know where everyone stands. For some people, they find it as an insult. Like, what, you think I'm coming into your marriage, into this marriage because of what you have? And I can understand how, you know, when I think about it, if someone were to say that to me, I can understand how it can sound insulting. But if we're able to have proper conversations with the reasons why, you know, assuring that it has nothing to do with our love. And besides, prenup doesn't mean that we cannot build wealth or new wealth together, and whatever it is that we'll build together will be ours. Then I think it's something that we should be looking to, you know, going forward in the future, because I've heard too many stories of romance scams, you know, that happen, and I think this is a good thing to do.
I like that perspective. Ramatu, did you sign anything?
Culture. For me, prenups, I don't think it should really work in Nigeria like that, per se, because, you know, culturally, then the African setting will always come in place. But I know that it just shows that because it stresses on the financial aspect of the couple involved. Like, let me give you a typical example of a couple who signed such as Jay-Z and Beyonce.
They signed a prenup?
Yes, they are very rich, you understand, and nobody is there to oppress. Because I remember there was a time Jay-Z even cheated, right? And it was all everywhere and everything, but you could see that there was no oppression. He didn't oppress her. He came out and he apologized. But you can imagine if I'm the one that is paying, let's say I'm the man, and I'm the one paying for everything and I cheated. Sometimes I will not even come out and apologize. I'll still be feeling like, look, I'm taking care of you. What do you mean? You know, but this one came out. There's that respect that comes with the fact that, look, I have my own money and the husband too has his own money, but we're just coming together to, you know, for love and to, you know, love each other and enjoy the union. So I think the prenup works very well abroad, but here it's going to...
I don't think it will work.
It won't work.
Abroad,
our ego is too much. We can't handle that kind of... can't handle prenups.
Amaka, what are your thoughts?
So I think that, first of all, that respect or disrespect in marriage has nothing to do with whether you have money, you don't have money. A badly behaved person is a badly behaved person.
I agree.
I'm of the school of thought that everybody in this life have your own. I mean, I don't understand why I want to be with any man that I'm not going to chop his money. Excuse me. Have you seen me? Are you kidding me? Beauty, brain, every complete package. But why should you tempt to say, what are we signing? So, hey, God. I'm a lawyer, so if I write for people, those that want to, but let's be realistic. Even if you have your own money as a man coming in, like from what Miriam said, where we can still build wealth together, right? You find out that if the man already had a company or the woman, right? And then if what the prenup says is that you don't have any business with whatever goes on with that company. But then I spent 10 years with you, 20 years with you, giving you emotional support. You're picking my brains in the bedroom, whatever that goes on to build that company, right? And I still don't get anything from it. What happens to that emotional support? What happens to this? Even that in the morning, I give you breakfast, you come back at night. There's a
I give you peace.
I give you exactly.
I give you food, both in the kitchen and in the other room and everything. So 20 years does not count. I pop out children, train the children. Excuse you.
That's why it will not work in Nigeria at all.
Well, I don't care. So, for example, like my dad's family.
Yeah.
So they have a will where the wives don't inherit, you know, because the generational wealth, where with the children, so the wealth passes to the kids, but never to the wives, right? Yeah, but I think that's an unfair thing.
Very.
Yeah, very, very unfair thing, because so the wives are popping up the grandchildren, you people are giving the wealth. It doesn't make sense.
It should not be compensated.
It's nice that I have something, but it doesn't make sense for my mom. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. But then it just shows that when you're in that marriage, you make sure that your husband, you're chopping what you can chop, because and you're being taken care of because
speed.
Because are you kidding me? So whether from the husband's side or whether from the wife's side, everybody have your money. But having that idea of saying that we should sign something, there must be rules and regulations for us to go in, the love and everything, you say it becomes transactional somehow.
Yes.
You don't want it to be transactional, but then everybody is somehow digging gold and being transactional either way. So for me, it doesn't work.
So for me, so I don't know how it works really. I think you may be able to shed more light on it. But I feel like prenup is not like a blanket agreement. I think that each prenup agreement is quite unique.
Yes.
There's some people that have said that if we're able to stay, at least we hear this from Hollywood celebrities, if we stay in a marriage 10 years, this is what you can get because you have put in work and time in the marriage. So you will not go without anything. If it's like a less than 10 year or like a 3 year, because they have realized that there's some people that come into your life for that chop quickly, chop fast, and move on. So let's see, if you're able to stay the course of marriage and it takes a while, then, you know, and then if it's the man who has the money and he's the one that initiated divorce, the prenup does not work because it may mean that, because you think you have a prenup. So I think there are different types of prenup depending on, and I feel that whoever is coming into the marriage and wanting to sign an agreement, it has to be something that you both agree to. There are some prenuptial agreements, I think that it's quite unfair from the very beginning. And as the woman too, for your respect and your peace of mind, you can say, you know what, either we have a better prenuptial agreement or we forget about this marriage.
So from a legal perspective, so like every prenup agreement is you know, drafted, yes, different, you know, to suit individuals or what you want to put in it. But it still doesn't stop criminals or gold diggers from coming in. Because if you tell me that I have to stay 10 years, right, to get something, a criminal will stay 10 years, right?
It
doesn't even prevent anything. Also, you find out that people now stay in abusive situations just because they don't want to live empty, and then things go wrong. People are murdered and stuff. And then you find out that some men or women that might notice that the other partner wants to leave the marriage before time will now try to set you up so that you can breach, because the prenup agreement has, you know, there's always breach, right? Yeah. So if you breach this, even if you've done the 10 years, you won't be able to get. So people start setting a whole lot of things, you know, happen. I found out that, like, people, they say that, oh, marriage is not love that really keeps the marriage and everything, that at some point those butterflies will go away. So what happens when the butterfly now goes away and everybody is now planning and plotting? Do you understand? So I just feel like that's important. I just think that it's important to discuss your finances. It's highly important, which so many people that are dating don't have the real conversations, right? But then putting certain things before certain things, or putting certain things as a yardstick for love, or a yardstick that I should be with you, or a yardstick of how I should behave, I just think that that's not good enough. Yeah, I don't think...
Okay, so I personally do not believe in prenups, right? But I know that in the Western world, there's a way they behave. It works for them in that way. It's also a form of protection for them. But we adopting it here, I don't think that is the sort of protection we should be adopting, because number one, it's a patriarchal society we run here. The man already has the everything, right? I've never seen where wives chase their husbands out of the house when they misbehave. It's the man that will say, pack your things and get out of my house. The house that me and you built, I will pack my things and get out of your house. So the man already has the upper hand here. I don't know what you're signing. What I should hear for people like us in Nigeria, you know, talking about our culture, is the sort of protection you put in place for the woman. Exactly. In case anything happens and anything goes wrong. And I like your angle. I so much believe in that. If I have invested my time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, invested my youth, lost my body, just because I want to help you build a home, and something happens, whether it's my fault or it's your fault or it's nobody's fault, anything happens, I should be protected. That time that I've spent should be compensated. Okay, it should count. I should be compensated for that time.
So you see now, that thing, the way you put your mind that, okay, you should be compensated, it looks like you are the only one that is giving in the relationship. No, the guy too is giving as well. And that is where I'm going to tell you that that's why Islamically, even the woman has her own, in case of anything, she will be giving something, the wife will be giving something. So you don't have that kind of mindset that, oh, when something happens to him, he's going to be giving something and, you know, you won't get anything.
No. Okay, I will explain what I said, but after taking the score, we have Olabode from Festa. Good morning, Olabode. Ekaro, sir. Good morning. Ekaro. We can hear you. Can we have volume, please?
Yes, please. Based on the topic you are discussing this morning, as a societal engineer, I'm a sociologist. So we have the theory that we call the social esteem theory. In social esteem, everybody that goes to any relationship, they have what they have in mind to achieve. You have something that the other person do not have. For women, some people, they marry because of safety, some not because of love, some because of support, and what have you. Our individual reasons differ. So I can say that we should do something based on uniqueness of an individual. We cannot say this thing will not work, in the sense that there are some individuals that their major reason for being in a relationship is just for you to be covered, you to be loved, to care, and what have you. So, any relationship that you know that this is your own side, you want to be protected in this way or the other way. I don't see any reason why you will not sign such a relationship, because it's...
Oh, thank you. I didn't get what he said clearly. Maybe our viewers would have heard him.
Yes.
Yes, let me quickly respond to... so what I mean is, I know that both of us spent our time together. That's the man and the woman in the question, right? Now, the compensation I mean is when the woman now has to leave for whatever reason empty-handed from the sacrifices we both made. So while I'm even if I was not working, even if I was just a stay-at-home mom, the fact that I was nurturing your children and I was taking care of the home, you know, I cannot go empty. And also for the man. But in our culture, the men do not go empty because they are the ones that have the final say. So what do we put in place to protect the woman that if anything happens? And this does not mean that we are, you know, we're having a foresight that we're walking into a marriage with the idea that it will end someday. No, it's the idea that anything can happen because we're human beings. Anybody can wake up tomorrow and they're tired. How do I protect my partner in a way that nobody loses at the end of the day is what we should be talking about here.
And I think that that's really what the prenup is about. That's really what it's about. Of course, you know, I really appreciate the perspective that you brought on how people can still manipulate a prenup. But, you know, I don't think there's any style that is foolproof. Because if you go without a prenup, it's because of all the ways that people have manipulated that sort of trusting open relationship that has brought about the prenup. And I feel that this is your question as well about protecting the Nigerian woman, because that is a problem that we have here. And we've tried to do like the courts, where we insist on, okay, make sure you at least have a registry, you do the registry wedding, marriage, so that you are protected by law in some way, because normal Nigerian cultural marriages, at the end of the day, you just pack your things and go. Just no matter how long you've been in there. Nobody cares. No matter what sacrifices or contributions you've made there, nothing goes with you. So the court is supposed to help protect your rights. But also, we live in a country where we know that it doesn't... what we have written down, not necessarily what reflects in our society, you know. So you have the courts and then you leave. It depends also, maybe if you come from, as a woman, what gives you protection is maybe if you come from a strong family yourself, they're able to push for you, or if you're a strong person yourself. But usually, like just a regular, vulnerable woman is usually left on her own to deal and fend for herself. And so for me, I think a prenup can also work in this situation, which is a fully written out agreement about what are her rights. And for me, I don't think the prenup is just necessarily about the wealth that you already have. It could be the wealth that you're looking to have, at least from what I understand. You can explain better. Because I've seen some people, or is it a post-nuptial? People do that as well. Yeah. So people would say, we have spent this year, and this is the estimated assets that we're looking for. In the case that we go our separate ways, this is how we're going to. The house will definitely go to the wife and children. This, whatever added assets. Exactly. So So we need an agreement. Maybe the word is not a prenup, but we do need an agreement that protects the Nigerian wife, because honestly, today, that is a problem that many Nigerian wives are facing. That's why you're talking about some of the things that women have to endure in marriages, because they're afraid that when they step out, that means my lifestyle is gone, my children's fees or anything, everything is gone, and has stopped.
So whether I like it or not, right, a prenup is focused on what you already have, and it's focused on finances, mainly finances, right? And the reason for me why I believe a prenup is distasteful is because you're telling me that you have to choose. As in, I don't want you to be materialistic. I don't want you to look at my money. I don't want you to look at either way, whether man or woman. You need to choose. Do you want me without the money? Olga?
I want to feed you.
I want to ask if her leg was bent or what was going on. Would you have gone for her?
How about those that go for
why does okay, so for me, let me finish. Why when they talk about prenup, you find out that most it comes from the majority in terms of the ratio is mainly men, right? Yes, trying to protect their wealth. Yeah, men with money and everything. And I keep asking that question. As a man, what are you working for? Is it not for your woman that's giving you happiness and joy to enjoy? It's not for your children and your home and your family to enjoy. If you die, we all die. We carry to the grave. What is the problem? Then, and when you put those conditions and the woman ends up doing that, you find that somehow that thing is at the back of her mind. True. I don't think there's any woman or man that signed the prenup and is 100% happy with it. I don't think so, because you've given somebody reason to say it's either this or that. you're putting the person on.
Collabo. I'm choosing both of you.
Come with
Your money and your wealth goes together. Ramati, your final thoughts, we have to go.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'm just thinking that, okay, what if I sign a prenup? I know that I will not be invested in that relationship 100%. Yes, I will not be, because I know that, at the end of the day, my property will be my own, and his own will be his own. And then, yes, it's divided in the mind. So it's really transactional.
Divided in the mind. I like that.
It's transactional. So, for example, now, let's say...
Example, we don't have time for example. We have to go.
We have to go.
We have to go. We have a guest, yes. So we'll take a breather here, and I'm sure you guys have heard. In our culture, we have to find a way to write our own prenup so that it favors the Nigerian woman. Look at, this is not because we are women. Look at your mothers, your aunties. You must have had someone who experienced a bad marriage and was chased out for whatever reason, empty-handed. And they had to start picking up their life again after investing years in that. You wouldn't want that for your auntie, would you? You wouldn't want that for your sister, would you?
Or your daughter.
You wouldn't want that for your daughter too, would you? Yeah, so it's not about feminine thing, no. We're just talking reality here. And I hope that we'll find a way in the country to see how we can do this for our women. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we have a special guest in the house, and the show continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Level 2, electrified fence. Space is terrifying. Let's get out of here.
Hey, Nick fam! Remember, Nick on TVC is your one-stop for engaging children's shows like El Tigre, Paw Patrol, SpongeBob SquarePants, Kung Fu Panda, and lots more to keep the kids glued to their screens. Catch us on Mondays to Fridays at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on TVC.
Argentina, champions of the world!
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. We have a media entrepreneur, PR consultant, producer, an interior decorator, and also a businesswoman. 10 years ago, she founded her own media company, Black TV Media, a media company with full potential of producing documentaries, movies, talk shows, and also creating content for both online and terrestrial stations. Welcome with us, Oluwatoyin Black.
Hello,
Good morning.
You're black and pretty.
Thank you. Good morning. You all look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. Welcome, Oluwatoyin. So, you are a businesswoman.
Yes.
You are into production, movies, TV, talk shows, and also a decorator.
Yes,
at the
interior
same time.
dec-
So how are you
Oh,
merging
wow.
everything, and how did you decide to? Which one did you start first, and how did you decide to get into production movies?
Okay, I started media first, some years ago, about 19, 20 years now. And started from Radio Nigeria. You know how media work, get to, somehow you get stuck. You're not getting what you want as per, financial ability to do some certain things.
Yes.
So I became more interested in other businesses. I tried selling stuffs and the rest. It wasn't really, fulfilling for me like that. So interior designing has been what I love from childhood. I love to set up my room, use newspapers to, decorate certain things. And it's been beautiful, combining media and interior designing together. So
amazing, nice. Okay, so like she said, like what was your first project, and when you started with Black Entertainment, your
my media outfit.
Yes.
Basically, I've been doing what you ladies do, presenting on different TV channels.
Okay.
I've worked with Galaxy TV for years, had Yoruba content on different terrestrial stations, Southwest. Then producing documentaries, doing movies was just something that has been my passion. So I just kept on going and going. But this year, Black TV turned 10, and then I produced My Home. Yeah. And it's actually a project that I'm super excited about because the storyline has not really been dealt with before. It's a special, storyline, and it's about women who are doing wonderfully well outside. People are seeing them doing well, but inside their home,
they're suffering.
Some things are going on that it's hard for you to want to discuss it. Because even the society, when you discuss it, they're like, are you kidding for real? You mean you are like this? Then if your partner happens to open up outside, then they're like, who the hell is your woman?
Okay, TV, language. Ramati, let's get to the few questions.
Okay, so this is a wonderful thing that you're doing. I like the fact that you're multitasking. So amongst the two, the interior decor and the media, which one do you say brings them more home?
I don't want to be too biased, but I think now, because when I started, I'm sorry, I'm going back a bit. When I started, money was not the the main thing. But technology has made everything advanced now that a lot of content creating, are generating money, now. So I don't want to say, oh, interior is better now or media is better now. But I think...
Na collabo.
It work.
Collabo.
So that's it. That's it.
Multiple streams.
Yeah, so, I just love your story because it shows from when you started and the process and the progress and where you are today, and a lot of people usually, they just see the finished product, just never understand that everyone has to go through a process.
Yes.
In your journey towards where you are today, and I'm sure there's still more to come, what would you say were challenges that you encountered, and what advice would you also like to give, like a young person who has found herself in the media space and thinking, I like her, I would like to be like her someday?
Acceptance. Okay. One of the challenges, if you're not accepted where you are, can hinder you to want to do, your ability will not want you to to function well. So I dealt with the challenges of people accepting me for who I am, how I want to be seen. I don't want to be everywhere. I don't want
Please
to
elaborate. Please.
No.
Elaborate on
Okay,
that.
I don't want to
Beg
be
you.
everywhere. I don't want to do certain things that will not glorify God in my life. Certain places that I don't want to be seen, or people I don't want to mix with. And if you don't mix with those set of people, you're not trending. So you tend to sit back and watch what God will do. So I've been, doing it in my way and in God's way, and thank God for where I am. So I think the acceptance part of it was a major challenge for me, and I overcame that. And I believe that, as a younger people out there who are watching, they can stand their ground and say, this is who I want to be, and follow through.
I love that.
Okay. So I want to ask, right? So what inspired you to tell the story of the home in terms of, because I feel that that's uncharted waters. That's what, like you said, most people don't want to talk about. So what inspired you to want to go into uncharted waters?
Okay. First of all, that story happens to be a story that was written by the director. I only, added some few
tweaks to it.
Yeah, to it. But when he told me about the story, I can relate. I've been married before. So, and I understand very well. When some stories are relating to you, not per se, sorry. You can,
some aspects of it.
Yeah, you can get it and say, oh, I'm passionate about this. And you have friends, one way or the other, have listened to their story, have had experiences of, so I know that it's a major challenge that women don't get to express themselves on. So I just feel that it's time to talk about it and speak out about it.
Amazing. Let's call for her clip. Let's see what she has in store for us, and then we continue the conversation. Take it away.
Come. Did I tell you the most beautiful one in the world?
Am I? How about we ride on together? I'll drop you.
Really?
One time now you'll be shouting you're the Odogu.
tó bá jẹ́ lórí yẹn ni wọ́n náà pé òdògbò ni mí náà, you know what I can do.
Babe, only big mom miss meeting me, Sha. But you don't vigil me now.
My work kilo ṣẹlẹ̀. What if Ben láti join my work?
Àwọn ilé mi sẹ́ mo fẹ́ sùn o.
Báwo ló ṣe máa ṣe kó challenge ọkọ ẹ̀?
Jáṣe ló máa wọ̀n, jáṣe ló máa wọ̀n.
Ṣé ló máa wọ̀n jàre?
Are you tired of me? Listen to me, Angela. I am not tired of you. I am tired of using these drugs. Ó ti sú mi bí lè máa lo oògùn lójoojúmọ́ tó pé fẹ́ satisfy yẹn náà.
Ṣeré láìpẹ́ tí ọba ń sáré kọ́ náà rí mi, èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ lè ṣe kéèyàn rí mi náà.
Ṣé bó ní ibi tí ìfẹ́ èèyàn bá wà, òun lọ́kàn èèyàn wà náà.
This is your responsibility.
I know. It is affecting me.
Nǹkan tó ń try láti sọ ni pé ọkọ ẹ̀ ò lè meet up pẹ̀lú desire ẹ̀.
He used to. In fact, he used to do it. Oko did they stop me? He just changed.
What are you talking about? Every time, sex. To make my mini.
Angela, did you say love?
No, last weekend you did the same thing now. Oh, Wale now.
Mo ṣeré mo ṣe tí mi ò lọ bí sẹ́yìn.
Tó dé mọ̀ mí tó mọ̀ nature mi. Tó mọ̀ pé kò sí nǹkan tí mo lè ṣe sí Gabriel.
Ṣé mo kí fún Christine àti ti ṣe in the past? And you're telling me kò sí nǹkan kan. There is a problem. Please talk to me, Angela.
Come on. Tired.
So o tell mara dúró ni. No, tell me. Báwo ṣe máa báwo lọkọ bí ṣe máa balẹ̀ tí máa jáde.
High libido has nothing to do with past sex life.
And let me remind you, I married a wife, not a sex worker. Okay?
Low baton.
That part just like this.
My jaw dropped. Wow. I wish I understood what you were saying, but I could deduce from. So let's talk about the story. And I know that, like Amaka rightly said, uncharted waters, and you decided to talk about it. What exactly do you want people to learn from this movie?
Okay, I want them to learn that you can be in a difficult situation and still not derail. Okay. Yeah, you can suffer some certain things that other women enjoys in their marriage. And one way or the other, you are looking out to coming out and something else pulls you back and say, you know what, this is how it's supposed to be, let's straighten it for you. And then it becomes straight again. So it's not, we're not preaching the narrative of, okay, your man can't satisfy you, then you have to go out and cheat or have your ex-boyfriend to do some certain things with you, then you're still managing the marriage. So the marriage can actually still come back together and you know, can balance it.
Okay, what if the marriage now, he still does not satisfy you? What do we do in that case? That's aside. You have a question?
No, I think it's really about the movie. And was there a particular message? Is this message geared towards wives or is it geared towards husbands? Like, were there anything that's... Because it seems like from the story, the men were having the difficulty. Was it something that was related to health? Do we get to see that? And having the men also look into different ways that they could better help, you know, themselves and the marriage.
Okay, we actually didn't finish, you know, all the questions you just asked now in the movie. We're still looking at, you know, having a part 2 of it, actually. But in that movie, it was about the activity of a therapist who arranged other people's marriages, you know, set up homes and, you know, sort issues. And then she was having, you know, issue in her own home as well. And it was difficult for her to focus on sorting other people's problem. So, and she happened to even have her ex-boyfriend be her client.
Okay.
And that was in a tough corner for her.
Yes.
So it was just a doctor coming to rescue, you know, that mission of don't go out, come back. So if we're having, you know, a second part of it, I think we'll do more of how to help men who are experiencing such and how to deal and balance it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about finances for a bit. A producer as well. I know that during the production period, they used to drain my blood. I feel so stretched.
Yeah.
How was it for you getting the funding for this production? Did you do it single-handedly? Did you get people to collaborate with you? And what's the plan to, you know, put it out there so that at least you make some money back?
Yes, there were collaborations. It was kind of tough, easy. Let me put it like that, because there's been planning, you know, just as I've been in the production, you know, for a long while. Okay. So I understand what I need to put in place to get things done. So I only need to just, you know, call
in favors.
Thank God. Thank God when you have goodwill and you have not, you know, messed around, you know. We are human. We make mistakes, but if you have good people around you who can support you, I think I just got a lot of God's favor and best people around me who worked with me, from the cast to the crew to the director to everyone, my personal, you know, close friends. They were just being amazing. You know, we released the movie 2 weeks ago and we're not doing badly.
Where did you release it?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, what platform?
It's on Akpata TV.
Yes. Oh, I know Akpata TV.
Yeah, Akpata TV on YouTube. So it's, we're seeking for more views, you know, so that money can come in as well. But I am fulfilled already.
Seeing your work out there, there's nothing like that.
I'm fulfilled, and then the comment that has been coming, the feedback has been so amazing. You know, sometimes when you're doing something, you have waited for so long in the industry, and then having to do this as my baby project. And it came out that a lot of people are encouraging me. So I feel that God has kept me somewhere quietly to cook something, you know, great for people to see. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So is there another project in the pipeline? Are we expecting?
Working.
No, there's no rest.
Yes, there's already In few weeks now, we'll start shooting another
one.
Amazing. You were right.
So I noticed that you targeted a certain segment of the market. When are we going to be able to, because this is Yoruba version and some of us don't.
We don't.
Is this subtitled?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's subtitled. It's subtitled. And
Well, a
it's
lot
done
of us don't
properly.
like reading subtitles. We want to watch.
No,
Don't
please
you watch
just
Korean
help,
movies?
just help to read, to watch.
You know, when Nigerian series, I wonder all the Korean movies that
exactly
you're watching. You people don't ask for
this one watches
Indian
movies
movies.
without subtitles.
I watch Indian movies. You know, most Indian movies you can predict somehow. You can predict what's going to happen
You will
now.
predict this
Because
one,
that one
predict
is
this
full
one.
of
no,
effort.
predict
But
it.
this
This is your country's
this
language.
one you will love it.
Why people on me?
Why is it?
Why is it them hugging
Free
it? Beg
me.
you, predict
There's no
it.
error in the subtitles, so
Okay.
you will love everything.
Okay, do the English version.
No, read your read your subtitle. You watch Indian movies without subtitle. She sent me to
It's the
YouTube
old-
the other time.
old
I watch
Indian
old
movies.
No subtitle. I was lost.
This is cultural day.
Exactly. Please support your own.
Support your own.
Support your own. So how else do you want us to support you for
Please,
this?
I just want you to tell, everyone, I will send a link, just share it for people to watch and just drop a feedback of, oh, I've seen this movie, this is how it is. Honest feedbacks will, make me more fulfilled than this.
Then you also talked about the fact that you are equipped to handle TV shows and other aside from just
Yes,
movies.
I do
Yes,
that.
tell us a bit about it.
That's like my living. That's where I started, and I have not stopped.
Okay.
So I will continue to talk till the last breath. I love media a lot. If you're not very intelligent, if you're not sound, you can't be in the media industry.
True.
So that has made me, read wide, think deep, not just hear some certain things and just say it the way everybody wants you to say. There are different angles to every topic.
Yeah.
So you can't always be right.
When you come across as someone that is quite deep, and take their time. So I'm wondering, when there's no production, when you're not doing work, how do you spend your time?
I'm always in my room.
You come across as someone
I'm always in my room.
Okay.
I'm not that I'm not that outgoing. I just...
You mentioned you were married before.
Yes, but I have a man. I have a man. He's not even outgoing. So
okay, so you're both.
So two of you now.
Do you have
but I
kids?
yes, I do have 2 daughters. One is 15, and the other one is 5.
So how does it work that, because in the media it says, and I think it links to what you said earlier, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be on the red carpets. You have to be at some events. You need to be seen. But here you are in your room, and earlier you mentioned that you didn't want to be seen a certain way. You didn't want to do things that were trending. How are you able to? Because there are many young people that are thinking, if I'm not on this carpet, if I'm not at this event, I would not be seen.
the right
and I
people.
would not meet the right people, and I would not do
be
much.
everywhere. If you are everywhere, you would not be quality. So you have to select where you are, how you want to be seen and addressed. So if you're everywhere, you'll just be a ya person. So that's my my own way of saying that you just have to know and plan. I plan when I'm working. I know I am working. I don't mix work and But after that, if I'm to myself, if I need to be somewhere, I will be there. If I don't have to be there, if it is not compulsory to be there,
you would rather stay.
Yeah, I'd rather be.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Oluwatoyin, my mommy's namesake.
I told you that she's a sweet woman. So.
Oluwatoyin Black, thank you for joining us on the show today. We wish you all the best with your movie that it's on Apata TV YouTube, and I would like people to go there and watch to support you.
Thank you.
Well
so
done.
much.
You're doing amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you, ladies. Amaka Fresh. Amaka Rakwe Gwaha.
Yes,
hey,
so this weekend, please love yourself.
Love yourself, baby. Ramatu. Yeah. Give them. That English lady, very long, eh? Give them.
Environmental.
Give to them. Thank you. That's all we can take on the show today. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you again, Your View Pidgin, tomorrow. Stay tuned. We got you covered. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.